Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Sunday and it's May the 24th, 2026. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets that you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. So feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. So once again, we're focusing on our topic of child sexual abuse, a problem that appears to be growing by leaps and bounds in our society. And even though there's a large number of arrests each day, each month, they seem to dominate the news. Sadly, the majority of cases still remain underreported. And because of the large number of people who are now being arrested each month, we are unable to cover this topic exclusively. But whenever there's a sentence that sends a strong message, we want to share that with our audience in hopes that it will be an incentive for other victims to come forward and share their story. And our story today is coming out of the town of Pendleton, North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, North Carolina man gets 175 years for child sex crimes and incest. I'll present you with a summary here, and I'll identify some of my sources for you in the description box. Today's video presents one of the strongest sentences I have seen in my state in recent times. It definitely sends a strong message to predators that North Carolina stands on business when it comes to protecting our children. A local man has been sentenced to 175 years in prison for child sex crimes and incest, and the date of this reporting was last month, April the 27th, 2026. And this case was prosecuted by attorneys in District Number 7, which includes Northampton County. And I've included their phone and fax number just in case someone might need it. And the person at the center of our discussion is this man pictured here, 52-year-old Thomas Anthony Wing II. He looks a bit scary in these pictures, but this is the picture from his mugshot. And he was recently sentenced for felony incest and multiple counts of child sexual abuse. And his sentence, 175 years behind bars. Let's get into this very disturbing story. Now, it all started back in 2023, June of 2023, when Northampton police responded to a resident in a nearby town after receiving a call about sexual abuse involving minors. And during their investigation, law enforcement determined that the crimes actually occurred at a different location in another town, the town of Pendleton, North Carolina. So an investigation was lost and it continued into the next year as police thoroughly investigated the case. And as you know, when minors are involved, the specifics of the investigation are simply not made available to the public. But we did learn that minors, there was more than one involved, and that the youngest was 13 years old. Now, the investigation involves several agencies, to include police from more than one jurisdiction, the Department of Social Service, as well as the State Bureau of Investigation. They were among the lead agencies, and of course, the Northampton County Sheriff's Office. They were among the lead agencies who were working together to validate the facts of the case. And after a very lengthy investigation, on November the 3rd, 2025, a grand jury indicted Thomas Wing II on multiple counts of child sex crimes and incest. And here's a list of the charges right here. 2 counts of felony statutory sex offense with a person under the age of 16, 2 counts of felony indecent liberties with a child, 1 count felony first-degree forcible sex offense, 3 count felony second-degree forcible sex offense, 3 count felony first-degree kidnapping, 1 count felony first-degree sexual exploitation of a minor, 1 count felony sex acts by a custodian or parent, and 1 count felony extortion. Now, one have to admit that the indictment speaks for itself, but whenever I come across cases like these, there's some questions that always cross my mind. For example, were there any adults, other adults in the home? Where was the mom? Now, the mom could have been there, and the mom could have been a victim herself, and she was powerless as far as speaking and sharing her concerns with anyone. Was anyone else charged? Because if you know that these children were abused and you failed to report it, you have to share a certain amount of guilt. And how long did the abuse go on? Now, none of these questions should make a difference in the outcome, but are just some things that crossed my mind as I continue to review the case. And it does not appear that this monster ever received any bond, nor was he offered any type of plea arrangement because the case went to trial last month. And it was a jury trial that lasted approximately 7 days. Now, we learned that on April the 27th, a jury in the Northampton County Courthouse found Thomas Wing II guilty of multiple felony counts to include statutory RAPE, first-degree kidnapping, incest, and indecent liberties with children. And here is the entire list of his convictions, guilty on all charges. And immediately following his conviction, a Superior Court judge sentenced Thomas Wing to serve between 1,277 and 2,103 months in prison. That comes out to a minimum of 106 years to a maximum of 175.4 years in prison. Thomas Wing will never again experience life as a free man. And after the sentencing, the Northampton sheriff thanked all those involved in the case for their commitment to protecting the welfare of minors. He especially thanked the district attorney's office, her and her team, the team from District 7 for making sure that justice was given to the victims in this case. And we, the public, want to personally send a thank you to the judge for his interpretation of the law and for giving Thomas Wing II exactly what he deserved, a lifetime behind bars, with absolutely no chance of parole. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, District Attorney. Thank you, the Sheriff of Northampton. We, the public, continue to watch and pray that victims will continue to step forward and that they too will receive justice. This has been a horrible story to share, but it also has the best possible ending. And we are grateful to have a predator off the street. Thomas Wing II will die in the Department of Adult Correction, and you just never know just how soon that might be. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.